Hey everyone! Welcome to this Marmoset Toolbag rendering tutorial. Today, we're going to learn how to create high-quality images for your portfolio in a quick and easy way. For this tutorial, I'm going to use this Kylo Ren model, and we will go through the process to achieve this final image. We will be using Marmoset Toolbag to render a model that we have textured in Substance Painter. To follow this tutorial, you will need a 3D modeling software like Blender or Maya, Substance Painter, and Marmoset Toolbag 4. So let's get started. The first step is to prepare your models for texturing. Make sure your models are properly UV unwrapped and are in a format that is compatible with Substance Painter. For this tutorial, we're going to be using OBJ to export the high poly model and FBX to export the low poly model. In this case, we're going to have three different materials inside of Substance Painter. I'm going to assign three different materials to this model. I'm going to create a new material for the torso. And I'm going to give it a color so it's easy for us to see which material is which. Then here, except the head, we're going to have a helmet material. And we're gonna give it this color, and we're gonna make a new Lambert, which is gonna be called skin for the head. Let's just do this. Now we can clearly see that we have three different materials in the low poly version, and we're gonna export this in the meshes. And we're gonna use it as the low. Then we also have the high poly version, of course, which, as you can see, it matches perfectly in shape and position. If we see the high poly version, this is what we have. This was sculpted on ZBrush and then re-imported back into Maya. We're gonna export this as an OBJ. Now that the models are ready, let's begin with the second step. The second step is to create textures in Substance Painter. For this, we're gonna create a new scene. The Unreal Engine 4 template is okay. And in our meshes folder, we're gonna choose the low poly version. We're gonna work on 4K, and everything is okay, and we will hit OK. Here we have our low poly model, and as you can see, the texture setlist includes the three materials that we created in Maya. Now we're gonna bake the high poly details into this low poly version. For that, we go into texture set settings and scroll and bake mesh maps. We're gonna output into 4K, and here we're going to load the high poly version. Now that we have selected the high poly mesh, we're going to update these settings. Super sampling, we're gonna use 4x, and everything else, it's okay, like this. Then we're gonna output all of these maps. We don't need these three. We also don't need ID map. So let's bake selected textures. Now that the baking process is finished, we can continue with the texturing. For that, we will be using smart materials. That will be the fastest way to create the textures. Let's start with the skin, because we can barely see the head. So we can search for a skin face, and we can drag it on the head. Then we can work on the helmet. For the helmet, we're going to use, there's a steel gun painted material. We drag it on the helmet. Then Kylo Ren's helmet has some chrome parts, so we're gonna add the silver armor material. Now that it's applied, we're going to create a mask, a black mask, so we can just show these parts that are chromed. For the torso part, we're gonna click on the torso and we're gonna search for fabric composite, this one. Then we're gonna drag it here. Now that we have the materials, we can export the textures. For that, we're going to export the textures. We're gonna go to the correct folder, which is textures. Select the folder. And we're gonna export every texture set. This output template is okay for now. So let's just export. As you can see, it's gonna create a texture for the base color. The emissive is not necessary. Then one for the normal and another one that is gonna include occlusion, roughness, and metallic. Now that we have our model and textures ready, it's time to import them into Marmoset Toolbag. Let's go into Import Model, into the Meshes folder, and import again the low version of the model. Here it is. As you can see, it also includes the materials that we created in Maya: helmet, skin, and torso. Then we're going to open the texture folder. Now that we have our model ready, we will import the textures into the material slots. So let's start with the helmet. We're gonna drag into the normals the normal map, then the base color into the albedo. Then we have the occlusion, roughness, and metallic map. Let's start with the occlusion, which is in the red channel. Then the roughness, which is in the green channel. Here in roughness, we're gonna drag the same texture and use the green channel. Then the metallic, the same map, but it's gonna come from the blue channel. Let's continue with the skin. The same way, we're gonna use the normal map in the normals, flip Y, then the base color into the albedo, then the red channel in the occlusion, the green channel on the roughness, and the blue channel for the metallic. Now for the torso. The same way, we're gonna start with the normals and flip, then the albedo, then the occlusion, roughness, green channel, and metallic, blue channel. Now the model and the textures are imported, but the model doesn't look like our final image. Let's start tweaking the camera settings and the environment settings. For the camera, I'm gonna change the field of view to something closer to a 60mm lens. And in the sky, we're gonna change this HDRI for 4 point, this one. Then we're gonna rotate it, maybe around here. We're gonna make it less bright. And in the backdrop, we're gonna choose a color. We're gonna choose a dark red. Let's check in the ray tracing option how our model is looking. Let's tweak some more things on the camera. Let's add some vignette. A bit of bloom is okay. we're gonna use a little bit of depth of field, the ray traced option. Then in this, you can click this icon and then select the model and change the aperture. But I think something around 2.8 it's gonna be fine. We can see a bit of softness here. Now we have to tweak some textures. Our helmet is too glossy right now, and this part of the torso is too dirty, this gray part. So let's go back to Substance Painter and fix these issues. In Substance Painter, if we go back to the base color, we can see this gray part, and if we go to the roughness, we can see that this helmet part maybe is too dark. So in the helmet part, we're gonna go to the steel gun painted layer, go back to the base metal, and we're gonna make it a bit rough. Then in the torso, we're gonna find the layer that is causing this gray part. So maybe it's the damages. Yes, as you can see, the damages layer is the one that is causing this issue. So let's edit the mask so we have less dirt. Here in the dirt level, let's lower it. Maybe we should lower the opacity a little bit, like that. With these changes, we can re-export the textures and go back to Marmoset Toolbag. Because the files were saved in the same folder, Marmoset will automatically update the textures. As you can see, the dirt is even lower and the roughness is better, but I think it's still too high. So let's go back to Substance Painter. Let's go to the helmet. To the base metal and make the roughness even higher. Let's say 0.725 and export again. And let's go to Marmoset. Let's wait for the textures to update. There it is. For the last step, we're going to add some point lights to give some color accents to the image. For this, we can go to New Light, and an omnidirectional light is fine. We can turn off the defocus for now, so it's easier to see. Basically, we just need to add 2 point lights, one in the back of the character and one in the front. Then let's go to our camera position. Okay. We're gonna make the front light blue and the back light red. Then the red one. And then we need to adjust the position and maybe the intensity. For the brightness, let's bring it back a little bit. Maybe we're gonna move it a bit to the back and to the top. Maybe something like this is fine. Then we're gonna go to the camera, turn back on the depth of field, choose again the focus point, maybe 4 is fine. We can add a little bit of grain. You can turn it on here, digital or film kind of grain. You can also adjust the dirt intensity. You can also do some basic color correction. To render the image, you can go to the render node, select use ray tracing, and in the output, you can change your output folder. You can set the resolution, format, samples, and then render the image. Here you can open the image location. And there you have it, a quick and easy way to create high-quality images for your portfolio using Marmoset Toolbag. With this workflow, you can create stunning images in a matter of minutes, which will help you showcase your skills and attract potential clients or employers. I would like to thank Vertex Mode for the opportunity to making this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe to their channel for more videos like this one.